Hey Jeet, how's it going?
Really good, Tasha. How are you doing?
Good. Today we're going to talk about commitment versus attachment.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it. I think that for some of our listeners, it will be a distinction that they're not familiar with. So we talk about it a lot here at the office, and we have that distinction. But go ahead and share for our listeners what is that distinction between commitment versus attachment?
Yeah, so I think there are two ways to look at it, both in terms of results and also the process. If we want to achieve anything, whether we build this company or we talk about always our health and fitness or financial freedom or anything for that matter, you need to produce results.
Mm-hmm.
Without results, nothing works. Nothing cannot work. Right? It cannot work until you produce results. Now, for results to be there, you need to work. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I call that a process. So there are two part of life. One you work, another you produce.
Okay. How is that different?
So what is in my control? For example, in our control to hire employees, train them, develop them as a leader, retain them forever. Now, will they stay back here? I don't know. That's not in my control.
You mean like will they stay at the company?
They'll stay back in the company.
Okay.
Same way for our clients. When we work with them, we put our life with those clients. We have even brand promise called ROI or you don't pay.
Mm-hmm.
We work with our clients as if they are our partners. In fact, they are an extension to our team.
Right.
And our company, and that's all what the process I can focus on. We can do our best. We work hard. Now, will they give us more business? It's up to them.
Mm-hmm.
Will they stay with us forever? It's up to them. So results are never in our control, what we produce.
Okay.
What is in our control is the process through which we go through that enable us to produce results.
Okay.
So being attached to results will make me personally in this case and anyone quite weak about they're always evaluating, am I there, are they going to do it? It creates an element of worries and concerns.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't allow you to freely focus on the work because you are quite attached with the kind of results you want to produce. Now, results are important. Without that, nothing's happen. World does not move forward until we produce results. So that's the kind of distinction we are going to talk today is what is the attachment, and if that attachment is not the right way to go, how to go about that, and that's what I refer as a commitment to produce results.
Yeah, and my understanding of it so far has been, you're attached to, let me back up. You're committed to an outcome. Okay, so I'm committed to losing weight or being healthier. But what I'm not attached to is what it's going to take to get there.
Or even working everything, so this is where it becomes interesting. The both attachment or commitment about something feels similar.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Look similar, feel similar. And yet they are so vastly different. And that's what we are going to decipher today.
Okay.
Because if we can decipher that, if we can understand the difference between, and it's not a semantic difference, it's a day and night difference,
Mm-hmm.
a day and night difference. So I'm excited to talk about that. And it opened up my life. It enabled me to be who I am today. It's simple, and that I learned this distinction. There's a course which I've done, and many of the people from our company have done, and it's called Self-Expression Leadership Program out of Landmark Education.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got this distinction from that program. And when I got that one in 2007, I said, oh my freaking Lord, this is wow. And it allowed me to have a better relationship with my kids, better relationship with me to me, better approach towards building this business. Everything which I do, that aspect of my life makes a difference in my life.
Okay.
So that's what I want to say.
Got
so
it.
Do you want to dig deep?
Yeah, I do. I do want to dig deep. You know, we chatted a little bit about the idea that this attachment to results starts really early. I mean, in childhood, you are rewarded for good grades and for being good at sports, but it's not about how you got there.
Yeah. Good. So let me walk us through to our audience also step-by-step process. When you are attached to something, what Tasha you shared, since our childhood we get that element, because when we get good grades, our parents like us more.
Or they seem to like us more.
That's for a small kid, that kid cannot
Right.
distinguish between
Totally.
seem to like good or like good.
Totally.
So, right, for me, I'm putting myself in that shoe, but you are absolutely right, that seems,
Yeah.
but for them, that seem is reality.
Got it.
So, for example, my daughter Gia, or like for me in my peer group, I grew up in India, and while people used to give me a lot more space and used to include my point of view in their decision making if I had better grades.
Okay.
So my mom used to talk about my son is blah, right? He got this grade, and she used to talk a lot about all the things which give a shout out for Jeet, he's doing so well in his school. So I say, okay, if I need that kind of attention, if I need that kind of focus and limelight, then I should better work hard.
Okay.
So my approach about studies in those days, and for anyone, called in order to. So if I work, I'm going to get good grades in order to get my parents' love. Clear?
Yeah.
There is an element, that's what I refer as attachment, that if I do not get good grades, I have a worry and concern that I might lose my parents' love.
So there was
There's a reason.
yeah.
There is,
Not a reason, but there's even a sense of you're feeling a little threatened to do that thing because if you have something to lose.
yeah, and absolutely. So there is something to lose, and there is a reason not to lose.
Yeah.
And it gives you a sense of, oh, I have to do. I have to get good grades. Not that I want to get good grades or I'm committed to get good grades, but I have reasons to get good grades. And those reasons are so I'm attached to those because I'm concerned and worried. If I do not get,
Got it.
then I'm going to lose out. And that gives me chills, for example, or worried or concerned. So now I'm not focusing on what it takes to produce those results, but I'm worrying about, am I going to produce results or not?
Right. Because there's a risk there.
Clear?
Yeah.
That's what I refer is attached to the outcome. That you are attached to whether I'm going to produce or not, and if I don't, then I'm going to lose out something. Okay, so I want to go step by step. So that's a definition of attachment. Now, do you want to ask me how?
I do want to ask you.
Please go for it then.
How is that different from commitment?
Yeah, wonderful. I knew that you were going to ask me that question. How does it look different when you're committed? Now, when you see that, for example, I'm going to flip the switch and a use case towards my son now. So he was in high school 2 2 years ago, and Jay, his name is Jay, he and I had a conversation. He was a sophomore, 10th. He was in sophomore second year of high school. I asked him, Jay, what do you want? And he said, I want to get into one of the best universities in the States side.
Mhm.
I want to do this. I want to get good college. So that's one use case I want to share about how it will be different on the commitment side, both on his side and my side.
Okay.
So I say, okay, now tell me, why do you want to be? I want to make sure in that question, I want to check, are you want to get into one of the top universities because that would make you feel that I love you more?
Mm.
Or this is something which you are up to, playing big games in life?
Mhm.
And that conversation was so profound for him. I said, look, don't get into one of these top universities because of me. Get it because you want to get it.
Mhm.
And he said, yeah, Papu, earlier I was thinking that I want to make sure that I make you feel proud. I want to make you feel that you are proud of me, and I want to get that level of love and affection from you. And I said, don't do that for me.
Mhm.
I am proud of you no matter what, buddy. And I share, it was a profound conversation, but it helped him to get disconnect from the results. And I say, you think, go to any other college. Why? And he came back after a day or two and say, no, Papu, I really want to, because one of the things which excites me is being graduate in computer science, technology. He used to have that in those days, technology video. It's called technology.
That's funny.
Yeah, and he used to make videos, and he used to do the vlog.
We're gonna have to find those.
Yeah,
Maybe
we should
maybe we'll
definitely.
link them. Sorry, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely. We
We're
should
gonna
link them.
link 'em.
And they are all online. And it's he used to have a YouTube channel. More than 100 people follow.
More than we have now.
Yeah, for now, at least he's absolutely, and by the way, he might be still creating, I haven't checked on that with him. But technology always excites him.
Mhm.
And he wanted to do it. So then I said, well, great. Now tell me, if after doing all of the things, you get good SAT, good ACT, good GPA, your essay is great, and despite doing all of that, and if you still end up not getting in one of those universities, how would you feel? And that make him ponder upon and say, yeah, Papu, I'll be okay. I just want to get a computer science and I want to do this because it excites me. So how it is not attachment versus commitment, that's the definition we are giving. I give the two examples, so I'm not on a tangent. I want to set
Yes.
because it's so difficult for human beings to guide. It's so easy to see how similar they are and yet how vastly those two things are.
Totally.
Life opens up. Now, I was committed for him that he gets on to one of the top universities, and yet I was absolutely okay with if he doesn't get into one of the top universities when result comes out.
Yeah.
Similarly, he was okay with that I'm going to put what it takes. And I'll do whatever it takes to get into one of those, and if even I don't get it, I'll be okay.
Mhm.
So he was not focusing so much on the results, though he wanted to produce those results.
Totally.
But he was not so concerned and worried about what if I don't able to produce those results, or if I won't end up producing those results.
Was there a point? How many universities did he apply for?
Quite a few. He applied 17 or 19 universities he applied.
And was there any point in that? I mean, did he get rejection letters?
Oh, he got rejection letter from Stanford, MIT. I'm going to say he knows. He talks about. He got rejection letter from many universities.
And so, what was his state of being during that process?
Yeah.
I mean, what showed up for him, and Because I think this is a great real life
Absolutely.
example of, you want something and you think you're committed, but what if you're actually attached?
Yeah, totally. And he was so clear he was ready to go to University of Georgia, Georgia Tech, and he got UT Austin, and he got UC Berkeley. He was just like, it was simple process for him. Tasha, and for me, like as a father, we always we wanted him to go to MIT. We wanted him to go get accepted at Stanford, but genuinely there was no heartbreaking. Oh my God, my life sucks, and I didn't get into Stanford. He was so committed to go to Stanford. He did all what it did. But when results came out, yeah, he was down for a day because he wanted to.
Yeah.
But he was not, his world fall apart. Probably it was a human reaction that you want something which you want, and when he did not get it, he moved on.
Yeah.
And he's happy as hell at UC Berkeley right now.
Yeah.
He's doing what needs to be done, and he would have been happier going to any other. He got accepted at University of Washington, UW, and he was okay to go to any of those. Berkeley was something which is known for computer science, and he chose to go over there, and it's a very challenging university for him, but he's having a lot of fun. So if you think about the commitment on those part, when those results came out, not getting accepted at MIT or Stanford, neither for him nor for me, it was not a disaster.
Yeah.
It was not a huge disappointment. None of that was there, right? And yet he worked very, very hard to get into those colleges. So the distinction which I want to bring out in this conversation is that both in attachment and also in commitment, your efforts are similar. But while you are putting your effort, where is your focus?
What do you mean by that?
Are you, in the case of attachment, your focus is, am I going to produce the results or not? What will happen if I don't produce results? And so your focus is, though you are working on doing the work, but you are keep checking in. Am I? Will I? And what will happen if I don't? I'll bring this conversation back to our company. We want to get into the Inc. 5000. We have been doing that one for the last 4 or 5 years. We want to grow this business by 20-30% year over year. I'm committed like anything to do that. And every year, whatever comes out, we accept. That's on a small granular level. Another big one is we have written everywhere that by 2024, our goal is to become a $100 million company. I think,
Stay tuned, guys.
right, absolutely. And every day we work towards it.
Yeah.
But I'm sharing with you why I'm not attached versus committed to that goal is, if let's say we achieve $100 million company in 2024, I'm going to have a glass of wine, I'm going to have a celebration, I'm going to party.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to party.
So, yeah.
Right? We are going to go out. We're going to maybe go to Vegas. Or we're going to probably go to Paris as a leadership team. I don't know. I'm just creating something as we are talking. I'm also sharing, when that day comes in 2024 and if we achieve only $30 million, I promise you I'm going to have the same glass of wine and I'm going to celebrate and we are going to have similar kind of party. But
Maybe not Vegas.
Maybe we'll go to Vegas still. The $30 million is not a bad number.
Yeah.
But right now, we are working towards achieving $100 million goal as if our life depends on it.
Yeah.
And I'll be okay. And I know all the founders will be okay. The entire leadership team will be okay with whatever the outcome would be.
Okay, so we are putting our life into this commitment.
Yep.
We are putting our life to produce that result. And okay, hold on, I'm losing my train of thought here. So we're putting our life there.
You are doing great, Tasha. You are not losing your. Like, this is a difficult topic to grasp.
It is.
And it is wonderful to come from a different side, deciphering this. That okay, we are focusing on freaking these results, And are we saying that we don't care?
Right.
Huh.
Right, totally. So if it's gonna be okay no matter what, then why put our life into that?
Yeah, wonderful. Because if I don't do that, then what should I do today?
No, I totally agree. I'm playing devil's advocate.
I know that.
I'm in it, like I'm committed.
Exactly. So for me, I think if we don't declare that future, we have really completely declared the future called $100 million company. And by doing that, it gives reason to live.
We start operating as such.
Yeah, it's called living into that future.
Right.
Now, if I'm attached to that, honestly, my being state would be, oh, what if we don't achieve $100 million company? Or what will all the banners and all the posters and all the things which we are saying, what people will think of me? What will think about, oh, am I a failure? What will happen to IDA Business Review about if we say we are going to $100 million company? There's a lot of self-identity conversations come. What people
With
might think-
attachment.
with attachment.
Okay.
There are a lot of worries and concern would come about, will I be failure? What will employees say? What the community will say? What the people will say? All. Just like what I talk about the grades. I wanted to get good grades in order to get love from my parents. Similarly, if we want to achieve $100 million company, $100 million as a valuation for our company, if I'm so attached to it, I'm worried that if I don't, or if this company doesn't, if leadership team could not able to produce, are we a failure?
Right.
And I say no.
Well, and I think another thing that shows up too is that when you're committed, back up.
Yes.
When you're attached and you're moving along and you're living your life as such, and you do your first check-in, you have your first milestone coming up, say for this $100 million, dollar goal. I'm making up, I have no idea what the plan is, but I'm making something up. Let's say by 2022, we want to be at 75 million.
Yes.
And so let's say we get to 2022 and we're not there.
Yeah.
If you're attached, then you're like, well, we're not going to make it anyway. Never mind. Back up. But
Wonderful.
if you're committed, you just identify what you need to do to close the gap, basically.
Wonderful. And if we wanted to have a $75 million by 2022, and we were like, let's say only $25 million or $48 million, the question which I would ask is, what's missing? What is missing if we bring forth that aspect of what is missing, that will expedite and bridge the gap. I would still continue focus on what needs to be done, rather than are we too close to. So I want to forward this conversation in terms of, if you are committed to results, then what do you do about it? If you are not thinking about results, in what way you can use your milestone outcomes?
Totally.
To
Yeah.
decide.
Let's talk about that. Let's bring it.
And by the way,
core.
we'll use that example, and I want to talk about as small as people losing weight,
Yeah, totally.
right? Or as small as people having financial freedom goal, small goal.
Right.
We talked about in last podcast about, paying car, right? Losing 10 pounds. Whatever, small or big, same thing applies, right? So let's talk about, if we are not thinking about results, in what way we can use results while we are focusing on the process.
Right.
Right, that's what we want to talk about.
Yeah, I want to bring it on the court for our listeners. I want to
Yes.
give them, I want to help shift their mindset about this, because it really is a mindset shift that we're asking them
Yes.
to take on. So, what does that look like, and who do they have to be to make that shift?
Yes, absolutely. So let's talk about how. So I have a say called, you focus on process and you evaluate your results. Right? You focus on your process, you evaluate your results. So we talk about our company, $100 million company, or losing weight 10 pounds in 4 months, 3 months. You are continuously focusing on the process, eating proper, going to gym, you're working out, 10,000 steps a day if you want to. You and I are going through that journey right now, that we have a goal of losing 10 pounds, and Alicia, you are working on that aspect of it also too. We are continuously focusing. Now, today I got on a scale and saw, okay, I lost 2 pounds. Had I lost only half a pound, would it discourage me? Because if I were to, oh my God, versus oh, I only lost half pound in 8 days. That means I'm not on track. So either I'm eating more, I'm not working out enough, or combination of both. I would have looked at it, okay, should I reduce my carb, increase my protein, increase my fast duration, right? Also, maybe increase my number of steps from 10,000 a day to 12,000, 15,000 a day. Rather than going 3 times a week for a strength training, maybe go 4 times a week. There's many ways you can use the data, but you are continuously focusing on the process. And you are evaluating results to see if you need to tune or change anything in your focus towards the process.
Okay.
Right? Same for $100 million company. We have been evaluating every day. In fact, we have a quarterly review meeting, we have a monthly review meeting, and big one, we have yearly review meeting, and we are building products, and we are going after the services. In the offsite meeting, we talk about doubling our service revenue, and in next 18 to 24 months, we are still to 2019, and growing our services revenue to $25 million or so by 21-22, and then going after the product, which is itself has much better valuations. So we are working on, but our focus is always on the process.
Yeah.
And we continuously evaluating our results. And we are not attached to whether we achieve the results or not. But we are committed like as if our life depends on it to achieve those results.
So when do you know if you're not going to get there?
Yeah.
I mean, do you scrap it all and give up? I mean, so
Yeah, perfect.
what does that look like?
Yeah, great. Annalisa, I want you to get involved in this. I'm going to share a couple of things, and then maybe if you have something here. It all comes down to you are only taking action in the moment.
Okay.
And without action, you cannot produce result in the future. Now, while you are taking action, are you excited and motivated and empowered? Or are you completely demoralized, demotivated, and disempowered in that moment? When to scrap that, if that goal or result is giving you the feeling of disempowerment, demoralized, and putting you down, then that goal or that result which you want to produce is overwhelming for you.
How is that different from being discouraged by your progress?
Yeah, so let's stay with this first.
Okay.
And then, so you ask, how do you know when to scrap? I mostly scrap when I know, I'm just like not sleeping, not eating proper, all the time I'm running behind, I'm going after, my being state is fragile, I'm just like not with me because I'm just behind something now. And I ask question, what are you doing, Jeet? For whom? We always say that we enjoy the present and we create the future.
Right.
And it is an and. So create the future and enjoy the present. In the interest of creating that future, and if I'm not enjoying the present, it's not worth it. I scrap.
But what if, so let's bring it back to the J example. So, no, that doesn't even work.
Because that's the result.
Yeah.
Our company or maybe losing weight. But I want you to stay is, if it is not giving you excitement and empowerment, then are you not shifting toward the attachment to the outcome? In my world, you are. Because you want to produce, and you want, in order to produce those results, you are willing to suffer. Now, by the way, suffering doesn't mean you don't work hard. I work hard like anything in that regard. But am I excited about that hard work? Or am I dragging myself? Oh my God, I don't want to do this. And yet I'm doing it. For whom?
But does that mean that you're not excited about the outcome?
Then if I'm excited about the outcome, then why I'm dragging myself right now then?
I don't know.
No, but that's the question. If I don't know, then who else would know?
Okay.
Because if I'm so excited about the outcome, then I should be excited right now also too. But I'm not. So something is going on.
Yeah, something's missing.
Something is missing.
Right.
Right? And Lisa, what do you think about being focused onto the outcome and then seeing, okay, when to give up?
I guess I never really have understood when to give up. I feel like maybe I haven't, when I was deciding when to give up or not, I don't think that I sat there and would think about it like, am I committed? How am I enjoying the process? I think it was just kind of a decision that I made just on the spot.
And by the way, for our audience, how old are you?
21.
Yeah, so she's just like, I don't want to say she's kid. She's just growing up.
She's in the early
Stage of her formation of life. And so that's what you expect for a person. But I'm glad to hear a insight from a person like at your age and the life where you are in right now. So you never thought about that.
I really didn't. And so it was an interesting insight to hear that from you. One question I do have is there any aspect of life that you think it is more important to focus on the results as opposed to, or I guess, is there any specific place that you would suggest being attached
versus committed?
Thanks.
Sure. I can tell you one area is my relations with my wife.
Okay.
I think that area, I'm married for 22 years, so you are asking me, I sometimes wonder that am I attached or am I committed? Because that area, I want her to be peaceful, happy, vibrant human being on this planet. And when she's not, it takes away my peace. And if I'm committed to the process, it should not. And so then I wonder, am I attached or am I committed? So that's one area. It has been an ongoing process for me. And particularly because I love her so much. And so, Annalisa, you ask which area, I think areas where you love someone so deeply, so dearly, and you want that human being to be happy and peaceful and joyful, and when they are not, what to do? Are you committed there? Leave them alone and say, hey, you can just be miserable right now. I have nothing to do. You say, no, I love you so much, you better. And if I do that, but she's not, then why I'm not backing off? Because if I'm committed, if those results are not there, then I should have been backed off. But I'm not backing off, neither so that's one area which I can see. That's a gray area for me, personally.
Okay.
Yeah. Great question.
Thanks.
Absolutely. All right. Anything else?
I don't have any other questions or anything to add. Do you have anything to?
I think you touched upon about when to give up, when to change your plan, also what the process is while you are going through the process, what your being state is. I'm a strong believer that anything which you do, and if it is not fun, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's really not worth it.
Totally.
And we take on big things in our lives, creating businesses, going to universities, having a relationship which is powerful, having great marriage, financial freedom, having the body which you want. All of these are some of the aspects for human beings. And at times we get quite worked up. We want to produce results in each of those areas. And by the way, without producing results, those areas are not going to get better. And while you are doing it, and if you are not enjoying, I think I would suggest to our audience, take a step back and ponder upon and reflect upon. If I'm not enjoying, why am I doing? I think that simple state of check would allow you to know whether you are attached or you are committed. Because if you are committed, you must be enjoying. If you are attached, you must be worried.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. And of course, always ask us questions, send us feedback, send us your own commitments, for sure.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.